Good afternoon, all you intrepid E3 lovers. It's time for another episode of Rocky Mountain Gamers. I'm Mark Cameron,
And I'm LBabinz.
and we're here on the last day of E3. We had, well, I'm going to ask you, Lee, what did you think of the show as a whole?
As a whole, it was kind of hit and miss. The bigger shows were big, Microsoft and Nintendo. The smaller shows were almost non-existent. Like there was a lot of no-show shows where
It was
I watched the
weird.
show and there was nothing new there. So on a whole, if I had only watched two of the shows this whole E3, I would have been like, this is a fantastic E3 just based on two of the shows I watched. It was incredible. But if I look at it as a whole, I feel like it was a bit of a miss because all the focus was on one or two publishers and companies rather than spread out a little bit better like it normally is. So again, lots of new games, amazing games, lots of excitement, some solid shows, but overall, it just felt a bit strange. And maybe that's the whole virtual getting back into E3 thing, doing that. But yeah, it was certainly an interesting E3, a little bit different than normal.
Very different. I agree with you. I think that Microsoft and Nintendo had good showings.
I would even say great showings, personally.
Yeah, I agree. And Square had a good reveal,
Mm-hmm.
and then not a couple good reveals, but not a lot else in the middle. And then pretty much nothing.
Yeah, like re-showings of things we'd already seen.
Sometimes with a little new information, but not a lot of new information.
Right, like some vague announcements kind of thing of things that may come in the future, sort of.
Right.
Yeah, it was an odd, again, two really big blockbuster shows, and then the rest were kind of not as big.
It's very true. The first time Sony skipped E3, I really bagged on them for skipping E3 because they weren't even part of the conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that hurt them. This year, I think they made the right move if they didn't have anything better to show than some of these other companies. I mean, all Capcom did was disappoint people. All Bandai Namco today showed one game.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't even bother to come and show a little bit more of Tales of Arise or anything. So it was a little flat. I think we're feeling the effects of COVID. Clearly, I think that things that would have been ready aren't as ready as it should have been. And it was, a little disappointing. Let's go to day 3. Day 3 was the worst of the days. Absolutely. Don't you agree?
Oh, there was
just almost nothing.
Yeah, very little shown. It almost felt like nothing was even going on in a sense.
Early in the day, we got Intellivision.
Mm.
And I'm excited for the Intellivision Amico. I really am. I've known Tommy Tallarico for over 25 years, and his enthusiasm for the project is contagious to me.
Right.
I like the idea they're not trying to be anything the same. It's a system that is focused on co-op, particularly local co-op, simple games to learn, simple games to get into. It strikes the right nostalgia chords while also still being a piece of modern hardware. It's not going to go against PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and Switch. It's doing its own thing, and I really like that. The games are 10 to 20 bucks. There's some remakes of some beloved games like Astria Smash. There's some stuff that's pure kitsch like Evil Knievel. Just a lot of fun for the family. It's a family room thing You play it with your kids, you play it with your friends. And I'll tell you, I had a friend come over a few weeks ago. Haven't had a lot of friends over in the last over a year.
Right.
This was, and we wanted to play a game, and we struggled to find a good couch co-op game. We finally ended up playing a Lego DC Superheroes game, Lego
Okay.
DC Supervillains,
Right.
on my Switch, just to do a couch co-op game. There just wasn't that many choices. I had a few other choices on Switch, but pulling things out, and it's like, well, is there any co-op on this? No, there's not, and
Yeah.
there just isn't.
Mhm.
There's plenty of multiplayer games that you can play online, and I'm sure I'll hear from some people in the comments below some recommendations for good other couch co-op games that I'm not thinking of. But we were at kind of a loss. So I'm looking forward to that. I'd like to, I'm not going to concentrate too much on it right now, but I give props to Intellivision. They had a short presentation, but a good one. And hopefully we will cover them again at a later show and be able to talk about it more in depth.
Yeah, it sounds interesting, actually, making me want to look further into it. I missed that one, of course. But I've seen Tommy at strangely enough, at the video game music concert a number of years back. He was running those, and you're right, like his enthusiasm for his projects is contagious.
It
So
is.
I'm definitely interested to see more of
And he knows what he's doing. Tommy has the world record for contributing to more video games than any other person.
Wow.
And that is a mind-blowing achievement.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy knows games. Tommy knows what he's doing. I think we're in for a special little surprise. I hope it does well. I hope people recognize that.
For sure.
And then yesterday, what we were looking forward to yesterday, helped save the show. Capcom. Wah, wah.
Yeah. Oh.
They showed Monster Hunter Stories 2, Wings of Ruin. Didn't show a whole lot yesterday during their own thing. Didn't show a whole lot today during Nintendo's. Showed a little bit more during the Treehouse Live. They showed some gameplay, and it looks fantastic. I can't wait to play it. But we knew that it was coming. We knew it was coming, in July. It's coming in a few weeks, less than a month. Yeah. So not the most exciting thing. Looks fantastic, but not the most exciting thing. The only thing I've seen pushed more during this show, I think, is Jurassic World Evolution 2.
And not even, I still think Monster Hunter Stories stole that.
Well, no, it's much better, but I think I've seen, if I had to figure out what game appeared on the most different feeds, I think that's Jurassic World Evolution 2. They were everywhere. They were a slut. And then Capcom showed Ace Attorney Chronicles for Switch, which again looks fantastic.
Absolutely.
It's kind of a Victorian set, and there's an investigation component that you get with a detective, Herlock Sholmes. Not that sounds like anybody, and different things to do there. And it looks like it's going to be a riot. It's Ace Attorney that's never come to the United States, so it is something to look forward to. But literally, that was it.
Yeah, I mean, the games they showed are great. Like, they look amazing, and I'm interested and excited about them. But really, the only new news, if you will, that they sort of let on there was that there's DLC coming to Resident Evil Village.
Right.
And not even any information on that, no screenshots or focus or anything, just that something is coming, as relatively, well, who knows, even they didn't even really give it.
Yeah, sometime.
Yeah, so really
we know we're going to get some DLC, so that I'm betting it's good.
For sure, and people are going to love it.
I haven't played Village yet. It's sitting there. I think I'm going to try to tackle it shortly. But yeah, it just fell flat. And yeah. I get it. One thing that has been happening with particularly companies that aren't Nintendo, information has been at a steadier trickle through the pandemic.
Right.
There aren't as many secrets.
Mm-hmm.
And it's hard to come up with new secrets when you're trying to finish old games.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, there's a spark that I just wasn't feeling with companies like Square and Capcom and Namco, that the spark wasn't there of excitement.
I mean,
And maybe part of that's the, you know, the fact that we're doing it virtual. I know I've been going to E3 and before that CES since 1990. And when you're there, it's electric. It's exhausting, but it's electric. And even the two I missed in that 30-year span, finding that there was so much stuff to find out, it was still exciting. You knew there were people there experiencing it, and that excitement was contagious. Here, everybody's so spread far apart that I don't think it had the chance to be contagious. I don't think there was just not enough to spark that excitement until today.
Well, I mean, keep in mind too that even for guys like me that have never actually been physically to E3, before the pandemic, there was just a thing about the E3 week. Like people saved everything for E3 week, and E3 week was when you learned about what you should expect basically in the next year. And so the way the E3 is going now through COVID, like you said, it's less of that. It's more spread out throughout the year. So it wasn't just like your entire year, you know, relayed to you in 1 week. Now you're getting that throughout the year. So there was less to show. I mean, just look at the companies that did have kind of more smaller representations. They were showing games that we already knew lots about because they've already talked about them, right? So I don't know. I think as things kind of normalize a little bit, it's on the right track, and next year will be a lot more exciting, I bet.
I'm hoping so, and I'm hoping in person next year.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt
I'm
it.
hoping the Rocky Mountain gamers can take to the show floor next year and do some live stuff.
Oh, that would be fun.
Good times. But today we had some relief, some much needed relief with Nintendo.
Yes.
Because they gave us 40 minutes of game, just one after another. And I'm going to be honest, I'll say it from the outset here. I was very disappointed at the end of it. I went back and looked at it, got more excited for some other stuff. I was disappointed because Zelda. They aren't making a big deal out of the 35th anniversary. They had a small mention. It came with a Game & Watch that's going to have Zelda 2, and Link's Awakening, the Game Boy version, on a Game & Watch, as well as a revised Game & Watch game. And they put that out there and said, you know, Zelda has a 35th anniversary. Here's a Game & Watch. By the way, we aren't going to do any events around it, and we aren't planning on any more Switch games for it. And that was it. And I just totally let the wind out of my sails. I really thought that combo pack was going to happen. I was really hoping for it. And so that left me on a sour note. But going back, I'm much more pleased with it. Now, you did not leave the Nintendo presentation that way.
Oh,
you were happy. You were just good.
Yeah, again, like the Zelda thing was disappointing to me in the exact same way it was disappointing to you. But everything else about the presentation hit me so hard that I was just already sold and completely thrilled with everything I'd seen. So it was nothing could ruin it for me at that point. Do I want more Zelda for the anniversary? Do I want the combo pack? Do I want all that? Absolutely. I wish we had more. I'll take anything Zelda they can give me. But Metroid, Metroid. That was enough to make the entire E3 show for me. I mean, the whole rest of the show could have been terrible, and it wouldn't matter because
it
Metroid.
should have done that for me too, because we're not just talking Metroid. We're talking 2D Metroid.
Oh yeah,
We're talking real Metroid. And I like the 3D games. I love the Metroid Prime series. Don't get me wrong. But Metroid, real Metroid, is 2D. I'm old. Deal with it.
Yeah, and it looks spectacular. I've seen some comments on the internet that it doesn't look that good, and
they're wrong.
Did we see the same game? Like the second I seen it fire up, I was like, oh my goodness, like I almost fell right out of my chair. And then it just kept going. It just kept looking better. And the artwork and an accompanying amiibo and a special edition. Oh man, it's coming out fairly soon.
Yeah, October 9th.
Yeah, man, that I nearly fell out of my chair.
October 8th. Sorry, October 8th.
Yeah.
Yeah, so some people were definitely looking at a different game. I don't know what they were looking at. It wasn't Metroid.
I don't think so.
I was actually surprised you had predicted the 2D Metroid.
I did.
When we talked this morning before Nintendo, it was on your list of predictions.
It was.
And I said, nope. And I was wrong. So hats off to Lee there. They've done a few things in it that are really different that I really like. Mm-hmm. It's called Metroid Dread. I don't think we said that. And the Dread part comes from the new edition of these robotic creatures that chase Samus. Mm-hmm. These aren't just things, Samus can run around a map avoiding things by and large, other than bosses. These things are unavoidable. And you have to escape them at some point, and then at some point you have to face them.
Right.
And they will, if they see you or hear you, they take off, and you're going to have to abandon whatever you are carefully standing there looking for and escape. Mm-hmm. And it seems to add a whole new level of gameplay.
Yeah, it actually makes it feel scary in a sense, like tense.
Yes.
That just tense feeling you're on an alien world and like there's something hunting you, right? And
I think I heard this pointed out as well. Most Metroid games, you start at the surface, mm-hmm. and then you go deeper. Mm-hmm. Here, it seems like you're starting underground and you're trying to get out.
Right. Yeah, they were saying like that your ship is a lengthy ways away. And you got to
get. What else looks really cool to me with that? It is a 2D game. It is purely a 2D Metroid, but it changes up the angle now and then with some cinematic angles, mm-hmm. Including during gameplay, not just for cutscenes, where you have to carefully aim at a door, say, and it'll pan back and go into this kind of pseudo 3D mode, over the shoulder mode, where you can aim to hit the door. And then when you start moving again, it pops back into 2D and things like that, which it doesn't make it a 3D game, but it adds just a little extra spice we haven't seen before. Yeah, I mean, when I first started seeing the trailer, I was getting Metroid Prime vibes, to be honest. And then after, it got into the 2D and I was like, okay, this is quite something coming together then here. It has a bit of both. Yeah, it's something to see. So that shot up on the list of great games from the show, mm-hmm. in a hurry. But it wasn't all that Nintendo had to show. They showed a lot of little games and made some interesting announcements. Guardians of the Galaxy, which, as people who watched the last episode know, I was seriously hyped about Guardians of the Galaxy. It is coming to Switch, albeit as a cloud game.
Yes.
Because Switch, it looks like Switch isn't powerful enough to just run it, and that's okay. I'm glad Switch owners, those who own Switch exclusively, will at least have a chance to play it. And there's there's a lot of little ports coming over, like the Life is Strange games, all three of them. The first two is a collection, and then True Colors is coming out, I believe, day and date with other systems. The collection is actually going to launch a little later, from what I understand. But you'll be able to play all three Life is Strange games. The new 2-point game, 2-point Campus, where you can try your hand at running a university, is coming. And I played around a little with 2-point Hospital. I like the sense of humor there. So that might be one to check out. And there's a 20th anniversary of Super Monkey Ball coming. And Super Monkey Ball, I am not a huge Super Monkey Ball player. In the past, it has made me motion sick. It goes too fast. I'm probably on Switch frame rates, I'd be okay. But I know there's a lot of Super Monkey Ball fans out there, and it looks like a quality game. And then there are bigger announcements. The first thing they showed right out of the gate was the next fighter for the Super Smash Brothers Season Pass. And it is Kazuya from Tekken. They're bringing Tekken in. Yeah, and if you would have asked me to name what I thought were the 5 most likely additions to Super Smash Brothers, I wouldn't have hit it.
But now that it's announced, it makes a lot of sense, don't you think?
Oh yeah, and it gives you another chance to square off Tekken versus Street Fighter.
Yeah, and if you look at the gameplay, they just showed it briefly. It fits, like it's interesting. They're making it play kind of like Tekken.
Which is what they did for the Street Fighter characters.
Yeah, like that could actually be really neat.
What they're able to put into this game just astounds me. We don't know a ton yet. There's going to be a dedicated presentation where they will announce the date, and they will announce more features rather than just here's a bunch of moves on June 28th. So right around the corner. Right.
And hopefully they'll show us the amiibo too.
And hopefully they'll show us the amiibo too. But it's cool. It's I know people were wanting Crash Bandicoot, and I was my number one is always Lara Croft. I really want to get Lara Croft in there, but they keep disappointing me. One thing that's interesting, usually if they bring characters into the game, those characters are appearing somewhere else on a Nintendo system.
Well, that's what I was thinking.
I don't recall Tekken being anywhere on a Nintendo system.
Tekken is not in Nintendo.
At least anywhere recently.
Right.
I think there was a Game Boy or Game Boy Advance Tekken at one point.
Possibly.
I have to look that up, but that's like the last time.
Yeah, not modern Tekken anyway.
No. So I thought that was a little strange. And when I was suggesting to Lee Lara Croft, that's what he threw at me. It's like, Lara Croft's not on Nintendo. So we can do Lara Croft.
Now anything's possible, right?
Absolutely anything.
Or maybe Tekken will make more sense down the road.
That's true too. And I always say that. And then we got a couple of new Nintendo games from older franchises, existing franchises. A lot of it is kind of dressed up re-releases, but that doesn't mean they're not cool. There's Mario Party Superstars, which is not a numbered entry.
No.
But has 100 mini games, has a selection of great boards they were talking about from the N64 era. They were talking that you aren't going to have to do what you did for the last Mario Party, which is go mobile. You can use a regular controller. You can use a pro controller. Everything, can use buttons. So anybody can play it, and you can play it online.
Yeah, which is
local or online.
That's a big deal right there. That's huge.
The graphics look a little dressed up. They did a larger segment on it on Treehouse.
Mm-hmm.
The graphics look great and the games look fun. It looks like they cherry picked the really good stuff from back in the day and cleaned it up and remastered it. So that could be a lot of fun for Mario Party fans. And like I said, those looking for multiplayer games like I was 2 weeks ago, that could be a ton of fun. And then they announced WarioWare, Get It Together, which again looks like a lot of the WarioWare micro games brought over to Switch. Not even really necessarily dressed up, because that's part of the appeal of the WarioWare games, is they look rough and crude, and there's just so many of them. But for the first time, co-op play.
Yes,
it's not a single player game. And I think that's going to add a lot to it.
Yeah, that's going to make it a lot more interesting. Absolutely. Because they are wild and crazy and fast, right? They're tiny mini games, and you blast through them really quickly. So having someone to do that with you is going to be chaotic and frantic, and that's going to make it a lot of fun. I bet there's going to be a lot of moments where it's just pure hilarious what ends up happening, because you have just a brief bit of time to do something with someone.
Absolutely.
And I think is it only co-op local or also online?
I'm not sure, and I'm not sure they didn't show enough for me to get how the controls are going to work, because notoriously WarioWare was all touchscreen.
Right.
All touchscreen, almost all touchscreen controls. So I'm not sure how that's going to work with co-op. So that'll be interesting to see. But it's nice to see that series getting a little bit of a comeback.
I think a lot of people have been waiting for that, honestly.
I think a lot of people will enjoy that. And then something I don't think either of us saw coming, although it's been asked for a whole lot. Advance Wars 1+2 reboot camp.
Yeah, I didn't want to dream that it could be real. I had given up. Kind of, I just couldn't believe that it would actually happen. So when I seen it, that was another fall out of my chair moment right there for me.
Yeah, that was one of the biggest surprises of the show, I think, because people have been, oh, what about Advance Wars? You ignore Advance Wars. You don't do anything. And it's like Mother. We would have the same kind of surprise we would have had if they'd have shown something with Mother, which they continue to not do, much to our consternation.
1 year, Mark, 1 year.
It's got to happen eventually.
It's gonna happen.
They brought what, Famicom Detective Club, or
yeah they did
to the US for the first time. They got to bring Mother.
It's crazy.
I'm thinking at this point what they owe us is a Link's Awakening style remaster of the Mother games, all three.
I would buy so many copies.
But Advance Wars 1 and 2, it's not coming out till December.
Right.
And they didn't change it, and I'm really happy. Advance Wars was never this grandiose scope thing. It was never this thing where you're going to see it on some system with ray traced graphics. It was a sandbox. It was always looked like you were playing a tabletop military game with little figurines. And it looks more so now. The board itself kind of looks like just a board put on a table. It's very finite, has finite edges. The units are still simplistic, and cartoony. The characters look like they've been polished up, a little more anime looking, so that when they come on the screen, they have more of an impact. So I really like the way they went about this.
Yeah, it looks fantastic. It's everything I wanted in an Advance Wars, whatever you want to call this, remake. They're calling it a reboot.
Yeah, reboot camp.
But
and
again,
we get both first, the first two games. They didn't just leave us with one game.
Yeah, I mean, it's a full price release, but you get both games,
right?
And these are excellent games. And I don't think,
and they're both long. These weren't short games.
Absolutely, they're both full length games, like 100%.
So that was a whole lot of fun. That was one of the things that really made me smile. Other little things that they were going through stuff so fast.
Oh,
they showed a game called Astria Ascending, which is like a 2D hand painted turn-based RPG that made me stop and go, I want to play that.
Yeah.
No real information other than it looks really pretty. They dropped a game today called Strange Brigade. That all I have been able to discern from the press release I got, it sounds like it's an adventure puzzler. Again, looks really good. It's available now. You can download it right now. I didn't look up the price, but it came out of nowhere and they didn't give it much time. And they talked about the Danganronpa series, Decadence. We're getting the entire Danganronpa oeuvre, so to speak. We're getting all 3 games as well as Summer Camp.
Which was never brought here before. It's only in Japan, I think.
I believe so. They'll be available separately, digitally, or they'll be available. The Decadence is the pack with all 4 games, for you physical game lovers. You say you've played the first one.
Yeah, it's
I haven't played any. I own them. I haven't played any of them.
Oh, it's a fun series. I've been meaning to play 2 and 3 forever. So to have that available to me now on a portable system that's a dream. And again, another one I never would have dreamed we'd get an announcement of. And I think that they said that the physical version is exclusive to the Switch, which makes me think it will it'll be some sort of special, and it did look like some sort of special edition.
Yeah.
And so I really need that badly. And like you said, it's available digitally in pieces if you'd rather, but I need that physical. And
yeah, me too.
I'm definitely gonna finish playing through them finally.
It was just a nice little announcement. It really was. That and Life is Strange both. Great to see those come to the Switch because they're both just acclaimed series.
Absolutely.
And the more acclaimed series come to the Switch, the better. If you guys can't tell, Lee and I are really big fans of the Switch.
slight fans.
And then they announced that the DLC for Age of Calamity has been announced, but they let on that it's going to come in a couple of waves, and the first wave will be this Friday, June 18th.
That's coming up.
So if you're looking to get your Age of Calamity on, continue that game, you don't have long to wait. And then there were other big announcements too. Another existing game that's coming, that's going to make a lot of people happy. On September 24th, Dragon Ball Z, pronounce it for me, Lee.
Kakarot.
And it comes with a new power awakens.
I think that's the DLC from the...
I don't know if it's the original DLC or if it's something new. I could not tell.
Right.
I don't know Dragon Ball Z. And we just lost 9 subscribers and I haven't even posted this yet. Damn. I've never done Dragon Ball Z.
What happened there? What
I'm
did you
sorry to
do?
disappoint so many people.
Oh,
It hurts my nerd credit.
no.
Um, but Dragon Ball Z, hugely popular, and this is an RPG, if I am not mistaken.
Yeah, yeah, it's an adventure RPG
Yeah.
sort of deal. Um, in the Dragon Ball Z universe. And again, if you're a fan of the anime, um, you're gonna want to play this. It's like playing the anime. Um, and I've been dying to spend more time on it. I have the collector's edition for PS4. Still have barely put in any time at all. So now that it's going on the Switch, much higher chance I will get around to playing it because I can play it portable. So that's a bit of a game changer for me, and I'm excited about this announcement, honestly.
I heard a very wise woman today, one of the correspondents actually with E3, with the ESA, talking about why the Switch means so much to her, and how, just having it portable helps. And the most profound thing I've heard about gaming in so long, she told everyone, you have no idea how many Pokemon pictures I've taken while I poop, which I thought was brilliant. That epitomizes it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Exactly. I mean, what else do you got to do in the bathroom? Read, play Switch, or scroll through TikToks obsessively.
No, it's a big deal to be able to pull the system out and take it with you where you're going.
So, do I need to play that game? Would that game get me into Dragon Ball Z, Lee?
I don't know. Because for me, I'm into it and love it because I just love the anime. Like I've watched it so many times. I'm not sure what it would be like coming in the other direction, starting with the game and moving into the anime. I think it's more of a love letter game for the anime fans,
Oh,
if I'm
well,
being
then I
honest.
don't have to add it to my backlog, so that's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'll let you know when I play it, whether you have to play it. But my guess is you would enjoy it a lot more if you were a fan of the series for sure.
So we're gonna mark that as a Lee game, and then there was a Mark game for sure. Fatal Frame, Maiden of Black Water. Um,
That's out of my comfort zone right there.
I'm a huge horror buff, love
Yes.
horror games, and this is like a horror version of Pokemon Snap for me, which I do like Pokemon Snap. I'm not avoiding playing that game either, but the Fatal Frame games I've always loved them. They're full of jump scares, really really creepy atmosphere, and I can see me as the grown ass adult I am, pulling the covers over my head and playing portably in bed, much to my wife's chagrin, I think. But I can't wait to get my hands on Fatal Frame.
Well, I'll let you get into that one and tell me all the scary stuff. You have to tell me about Resident Evil Village too, because that's too scary for me, man.
Oh, come on, Lee. That's not psychological horror,
True, true.
but it's plenty scary. Lots of scares. And they brought out Mario Golf Super Rush, which we get in 2 weeks, 10 days.
Is
That's
it
10 days away. It's the
man,
15th. We get it on the 25th.
awesome?
And normally I wouldn't even bring it up on an E3 show. It's like, hey, we're talking a game that's about to come out, but they showed the modes, some of the modes at least. And there's normal golf. We knew that. There's this kind of chaotic speed golf where you and your friends all tee off at the same time and go running after your balls, and the first one in the cup wins, which looks freaking hilarious.
Yeah, that's gonna be fun. Party game.
And then there's an adventure mode that uses me characters. And on Treehouse, they showed it. And you're like, there's a fire demon boss, and you're shooting golf balls at the boss, and the boss is shooting lightning bolts at you, and you have to move around the map and find the right time to line up a shot and smack it with a golf ball, and then go and hide behind a rock before you get blasted, and go follow it over somewhere else and smack it with another golf ball, and here it's breathing this big ball of something at you, and you got to actually, I don't know if they smacked a golf ball into the big glowy ball to go back to the boss, or if they just smacked the big glowy ball to go back to the boss. But one way or another, that's how you kill the boss, it's with the big glowy ball, which I truly enjoyed. And it's just like, this is the most whacked stuff. I don't know who was smoking what to come up with a let's have an adventure with a quest and have them fight big bosses with golf balls, but I approve.
I 100% approve. That is the most Nintendo thing ever. Golf boss fights. I'm all about that.
So this gets my thumbs up. I like golf games anyways. I don't actually play golf because then I'd have to go outside and everybody knows the sun is trying to kill me. But I definitely like golf games, golf video games. So I'm good there.
Yeah, it looks good.
The thing I was waiting for at the presentation did happen. And I sound like a broken record on our podcast. I'll try to dial it back after this until November. But Shin Megami Tensei 5 was officially announced for a November 12th release, with pre-orders coming June 21st. Pre-orders coming next Monday.
Right, and so that leaked earlier on last week, I think.
Yeah, we got that. We got the date last week, not the pre-order date, but the release date.
That's right. Yeah.
But they showed gameplay today.
Oh, yes, they did.
It looks gorgeous. It looks like you can get yourself into a nice bit of trouble, because one of the things they showed was they took the team against a boss they were certainly not ready for.
Right.
Big stone boss that they were hitting for 2, and that was one-shotting them and ending their game. So I always like that bit of tension. The demons look fantastic. The graphics look great. Looks like it's going to have a fun story. So I'm going to try to wrap up number 3 and get my review up in the next couple of days. Now that E3 is over, and then I set my patience. It made up for the fact that we haven't had any new Persona news or anything from Atlas for a while. That they've kind of been focusing on this, and I'm happy to say it looks worth it.
Yeah, that will happily tide me over until the next Persona game. It looks better than I had hoped for.
Really does.
And I'm pumped that we now have a release date, and I want to get my pre-order in. I'm still holding out some sort of hope that we get some sort of collector's edition or a special edition or something. Japan's getting one, and it looks incredible.
I haven't looked it up yet.
Oh, it looks so good. They skipped the collector's edition for Shin Megami Tensei 3 here in North America, so I'm little hesitant on thinking we'll get something, but I'll settle for just playing the game. It just looks so good.
We did get Persona 5 and Persona 5 Royal.
That's true.
Collector's editions.
That's true.
So maybe
I still hope,
since it's a new title, maybe.
Maybe.
And then there were some other minor things. We aren't covering everything. They went too fast for us. But they ended with Zelda. And most importantly, we got to see more of the Breath of the Wild sequel. We don't have an official name. I've been calling it Breath of the Wild 2. Might not be that.
Nope. They've already, I think even the name of the trailer was new Breath of the Wild game or something like that. Like they definitely are not calling it. They're not calling it Breath of the Wild 2. That's for sure.
The prediction I was correct about, that Lee was not, 2022.
I thought 2021. You're right. You got me.
It looks amazing.
Oh, does it?
So
it's
beautiful.
Come a long way.
It looks like next level Breath of the Wild.
Mm-hmm.
There's I'll post the footage here, but a rock creature that comes out of the ground and has other enemies on its back, looks absolutely massive, and the promise of being able to fight in the sky
Yes.
over there's stuff over Hyrule. There's a new level of verticality in a game that was already very vertical.
Right.
Obviously new places to explore, not just places that we've been to. And I was really wondering how they were going to do that, because we've been to a lot in Breath of the Wild.
Yeah.
It's a massive map. I'm willing to wait. I'm happy to wait. Take the time they need. 2022 is not a problem for me if it turns out anywhere near the first one.
Right. I mean, of course, we want this as fast as we can get it, but I would rather they spend the time and make this the game than to rush it, for sure. So they can take their time. I will happily play it the second it's available. I can't wait.
Yeah, that it can't get here soon enough, but oh man, it just looks good. So overall, despite bursting my Zelda anniversary bubble, overall Nintendo had an amazing showing.
Yeah, this again, I was on the edge of my seat the entire show. It went fast. I was trying to live tweet it. It was going faster than I could even live tweet, which just goes to show they had so much content to show in such a short amount of time, and I don't feel like any of it was wasted.
No.
Again, my only negative feedback on the entire show is that I wanted more.
Yeah, definitely. And there's more out there. There's more we know about out there that just didn't make the cut into this one. So, which is understandable. 40 minutes is a long direct for Nintendo.
That is a long direct, absolutely. And it was a bunch of new news. Like that's what I wanted out of E3. Like that we got new information. Almost the entire thing was new information. And then they saved the gameplay for the treehouse afterwards instead of putting it into the show, which I think everyone should be doing that.
That's what killed you with Capcom.
Yeah, we don't need 20
with Square
minutes.
Enix. With Square Enix.
Don't need 20 minutes of Guardians of the Galaxy in an E3 presentation. But yeah, what a show. Very happy with that.
So let's break it down. We're at the end. E3 is over. What are your 5 games of the show?
Well, Metroid Dread, 100%. Definitely Forza Horizon 5 looked incredible for me. Trying to think of what else would be. Obviously, I don't even know if Breath of the Wild 2 counts because it's still a ways off, but definitely.
Let's limit it to games we didn't know existed at all.
Okay. So Metroid Dread, Forza Horizon 5, Advance Wars, because who'd have thought?
Yeah, who'd have thought?
And Guardians of the Galaxy, just because you're so excited about it.
I'm a geek.
I'll go with that. So we can't use something like Starfield, which again looks great, but we knew about that already. What would be my 5th? I keep going back to Danganronpa. Honestly, like I didn't think that would come to the Switch, and
yeah, you didn't know it existed.
I'm gonna 100% play that. If anything, device-wise, like not really a game counts, then I mean I'm excited about the Legend of Zelda Game & Watch.
That's because you're a collector.
Yeah, I'm a collector. That's gonna look real nice. And I don't know if you noticed the box, like the packaging itself is like a display for it. So
I didn't. Is it different than the Mario one was?
Yeah, I think it is different than the Mario one was. Yeah, which
sweet.
Also had a cool packaging, but this is cooler. So yeah,
and I'll buy one and play it once.
I'd say that would be my excitement of the show. I mean, I know I'm forgetting something almost certainly, but those are the ones that kind of really caught my eye there.
Well, for me, I'm gonna go with Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah.
Get my Marvel on, and
Is that your number
Metroid.
one?
Have to have Metroid in there.
Yeah.
Have to put in Redfall from Arcane Studios and Bethesda. Just sweet looking. I know it's not coming out till next summer, but I really appreciated that reveal. I think Fatal Frame. I had no idea. We were. I heard some buzz that maybe there was a Fatal Frame on the horizon, and but not overly aware that, particularly that it was coming to Switch, which means I can go play it hiding in a dark closet, which I like. And then again, the fifth is tough.
Right.
I do like Advance Wars like you do. I do like well, I wouldn't do the Mario, the Zelda Game and Watch, because I'm still bitter. So I'm not going to give Nintendo that one.
What about Elyuda Chronicle?
No, we knew that. We supported it on Kickstarter.
True. But I didn't know it was coming to Xbox.
That's true. And that's the only thing keeping me from Elden Ring too.
Right. Good call.
Is that I knew that it existed. You know what? I'm gonna go out on a limb and do the Final Fantasy Origin game from Square.
That's potential.
I know it looks like a Souls game. I know it is controversial because it is so different. But I'm looking forward to giving it a try. Stranger of Paradise, that's the name. Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin. It came out of nowhere. I had no idea this game was happening. None. You said you had heard some rumor. I didn't even hear that.
Yeah, I heard a rumor about an action RPG Final Fantasy.
And it's hopefully, if it's Souls-like, they'll put difficulty settings in it, because it's not actually from software. So I'm hopeful.
Yes, and you can actually play the demo now. It's fixed or whatever.
Oh, I know what I'm doing tonight after I finish editing our video.
Yes.
So that's it. That's E3 2021. For a show that didn't have a lot, Lee and I sure talked a lot. I think we have 2 episodes that are almost a full hour each out of this.
Wow.
So I hope that everybody enjoyed it. Next week, we will go back to just talking about games and stuff like that, and starting to get into our regular show format. Again, please hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. We have a lot of great ideas and a lot of things to do that are coming up. So for today, for E3, and for our sanity, I'm Mark Cameron.
And I'm LBabinz.
And we really appreciate you tuning in. We'll see you in about 10 days.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.